How's it going, everyone? My name is Earlmeister, and in today's Meister meta breakdown, we are going to be checking out the Disney Lorcana challenge from Chicago, the top 8 decks. Let's go ahead and see what popped off on Chicago this weekend. All right, I actually tried to predict what is gonna be on the top for this meta, and I was close to getting it right. There's one deck that I was not expecting to be on the top 4 at the very least, and that is this. It's green and purple bounce. I was not expecting this to be one of the tops. I knew it had some potential, but I felt that it's gonna be hard for it to get to the top, but it did. And I'm actually happy to see that there are 5 different decks here on the top 8. And I know that we've been whining about Bucky Discard being well, it's just a super annoying deck, right? But I'm happy to see that there's 5 different decks that made it to top 8, and I think moving forward from here, we're gonna be seeing more and more different decks. But congratulations, first of all, to the Rat. The Rat is a legend. He wins a lot of different tournaments online and in real life. Obviously, with this one taking the first place, that is pretty ultra megatonic. But yeah, let's go ahead and start checking it out. So at first on the top 8, we have a Steel Emerald Bucky Discard by Demetrius Bellido. Let's go check it out. So this one, we can see right away that it's basically what we usually see from most of these Bucky Discard deck, except it's not running Pegasus. Usually you would see a 1-cost Pegasus on the 1-cost curve, and then we have Bucky, of course, Ursula, and this one, it's only running 2 Ursula, Deceiver of All as well. And it also runs 2 Aladdin. We have 4 Diablos. This one is running Prince John, which is something that we saw a lot of people cut from this deck. But I kind of like the idea of it, you know. It doesn't throw you to the point where you're always just top decking. Once you get your opponent to start top decking, sometimes this deck also start top decking, right? But what I like about this is when you discard your opponent, you can also still fill your hand up, which is pretty nice in my opinion. And unlike the Diablo curve, which usually gets dealt with right away because people would save a card for the Diablo, Prince John can't be dealt with. It sits there because it has ward until your opponent gets an AoE card. All right, and it's also only running 2 Jafars, 4 Beasts, of course, and 4 Robin Hoods and 1 Tinkerbell. This one has 3 Hidden Cove. This is a tech that we've seen a lot of people started running. It has 2 Baboons, 4 Sudden Chills, 3 Let the Storm Rage On, 4 Strength of the Raging Fire, 2 Grab Your Swords, and 4 We Don't Talk About Bruno. A lot of people as well stop running 4 We Don't Talk About Bruno. I would say out of all the discard decks, or the Bucky discard decks that I've seen, this is the numbers and the amounts of the cards on this deck of Demetrius. It's not usually what we see, right? And especially Let the Storm Rage On. Usually this is a 4 of because you want Ursula to sing it, but it's because Ursula, there's only 2 of them. That's why you can probably survive even with just 2 of this. But anyways, like what I said, this is something that I usually don't see with this card, but surprisingly, it performed really well. So well played, Demetrius, for getting the top 8 on this Ultra Megatonic tournament. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, this next one is by Alberto Garcia. It's Ruby Amethyst, my favorite competitive deck that I usually play. And let's go ahead and check it out. This one is running 4 Chernobog's Followers, which I think that you should be running on every Ruby Amethyst deck, unless you're running the 1/2 Broom, which is fine. It kind of like does the same thing, right? And we have 4 Pascals. We also have 4 Flynn Riders, 2 Cuscos, 4 snakes, 4 fox, 2 merlin crabs, 4 sisus, 4 merlin goat, rabbits, 4 rabbits, and 4 Maui hero to all, and 3 Madame Medusas. This one is not running any Tremaines because we can see over here that it's running Beaking Undisputed. You kind of have to choose which one you want from those. 4 brawls as well, 4 friends, 2 Be Prepareds, and 4 Queen's Castle. I've seen a lot of people cut some of the Be Prepareds. I can't seem to pull myself to cut it all the way down to 2. 3 at the very least for me, but this is basically what you would see nowadays from this deck. Honestly, it's just a matter of choice whether you want to run Beaking Undisputed or you want to run Tremaines. I personally prefer Tremaines. I can see the purpose of Beaking Undisputed as well. It's both good in my opinion. Beaking Undisputed though is really nice and fast, and it can help you early game, especially nowadays. You can play fast because a lot of people have been cutting Be Prepareds. Even the red blue decks, right? They don't run 4 Be Prepareds. They play they play a lot of Sisus, and most of these characters can actually survive Sisu. So there's no problem unless they have Ice Block. This is most likely what you will see, this is what you would mostly see on a regular Ruby Amethyst deck nowadays. There's really no special tech that I can see from this deck. It's a super solid, what do you call this, amount of cards this is running as well overall. So congratulations, Alberto, for making it to top 8. All right, another deck on the top 8 is by Dominic Couch. Dominic Couch, Bucky discard. This one, like what I said, people usually run Pegasus, and he's running Pegasus on this one. We have Diablo, Pegasus, Robin Hood, Bucky, Ursula the Deceiver, Aladdin, Diablo, Ursula the Deceiver of all, 4 Beasts, 3 Pegasus, and Robin Hood. This is usually what you would see in a regular Bucky discard deck. 2 Hidden Coves, 4 Sudden Chills, 4 Let the Storm Rage On, 3 Strength of the Raging Fire, 2 Grab Your Swords, and 3 We Don't Talk About Bruno. I'm gonna say it now. There's really nothing like outstanding when it comes to tech-wise. I think overall, this type of build is just super solid. But you can see some Emerald discard players definitely would cut like 1 or 2 cards of like 1 copy of Pegasus, right? Or for this instance, they're running 4 Aladdins, and most players usually run 3. This one, instead of running 4 Strength of the Raging Fire, it's running 3. Like what I said, all these cards over here is what you would see on this deck. It's usually just the numbers that changes, and I don't think it changes the way the deck plays that much, but it definitely has some strength and weaknesses when it comes to certain matchups. Other than that, it's what you would see on an Emerald discard deck. We're not really here to discuss how this deck play. There's a lot of videos out there for that. We're just here to discuss what they're running, and also if they have any cool techs that they run. Again, solid performance by Dominic Couch. Congratulations on the win. On the top 8, which is a win. All right, the next one is by one of my favorite players in Disney Lorcana, and I also have interviewed him for our podcast, the Earlmeister podcast. Make sure to check that episode out with Brandon DeCandio. Let's see what Brandon DeCandio is running this time. It's running Steel Sapphire. Items is what I like to call it now, or Cogsword with friends. You can still call it that. And this is usually the version that they're running now. We have 40 Sphere, Popsicles, Fishbone Quill, and Lucky Dime. It's very, very heavy on items nowadays, this version. It has 3 Baboons, 1 Rise of the Titans, 2 Smash. It has 2 Magic Brooms as well, which is really, really, really good against Bucky discard. 2 Scuttle, 2 Grammatala, 4 Flavershims, 2 Beast, 4 Cogsworth, 2 Aerials, 4 Tinkle Bells, and 3 Tamatoas. It's also running 4-1 Jump Ahead, 2 And Then Along Came Zeus, 4 A Whole New Worlds, 3 Grab Your Swords, and 2 Let It Goes. So what I can say with this is the wheel version of the deck. A lot of people actually have cut a whole new world from this deck, because the thing is, this could easily backfire against you when playing against decks like Sapphire and Ruby, right? But overall, I think this is kind of like a hybrid version, I would say, because it's very very heavy on items. It's still running the Flavershem with this combo. Like what I said, usually you wouldn't see a whole new world when it comes to this type of build, but this looks pretty solid. There's not any like ultra megatonic techs that I can see, because Rise of the Titans can be called a tech, yes, but most people they run one or two of these nowadays. I would say Smash would probably a pretty cool tech for this. I know Smash used to be a staple, but nowadays a lot of people are not running Smash. People do run Baboon, so I think Smash is really really good in this meta. There's a lot of good targets for it, and it basically smashes and no pun intended, and shut down a lot of decks when you use cards like this. Other than that, Magic Broom Aerial Cleaner is probably the most outstanding tech that I can see from this deck. I really like this card. It's a healthy card. It's 2/3 and it fully shuts down Diablo. Anything that shuts down Emerald Steel right now is something that I enjoy, because like what I said, it's an annoying deck, right? I don't hate it. I think the deck is great, but the thing is just it's annoying to play against, and I like techs like this because it makes it less annoying to play against. When you have this on turn 2, a lot of the times your opponent is not even gonna try to play their Diablo because it's not gonna do anything on the board, which is really cool. But most of the time, this type of deck would usually play one jump ahead on turn two. But it really depends on what is going on, of course. But anyways, again, congratulations, Brennan DeCandio, solid performance. I am so glad to see you on top 8. This is an ultra megatonic improvement from the performance in Atlanta. I hope that you do well on the internationals when it comes to, is it internationals or continentals? I don't know what we're calling it yet. Continentals. I hope to see you perform ultra megatonic on that tournament. Congratulations on the top 8. Let's move on to the next one. All right, moving on to the top 4. We have Kurt. Is it Kurt Spice or is Kurt Spice? I don't know how to pronounce it very well. We're just gonna call him Kurt. I was actually rooting for him when it comes to top 4 because it's a Ruby Amethyst deck and I'm a Ruby Amethyst player. Unfortunately, he ended his journey at top 4, which is still great because you get the Ultra Megatonic Mickey, right? Which is amazing, and you already win a lot of stuff by the time you get there. But of course, I'm pretty sure that he would have loved to get to top 1, but maybe next time. Either way, Ultra Megatonic performance by Kurt. Let's check out his version of Ruby Amethyst. So it's running 4 Chernobogs and Magic Rooms. I've actually already checked this deck out because it's Ruby Amethyst, and like what I said, I love it. I checked it ahead of time. This deck is pretty good. This deck is actually smart. Running 4 Chernobogs followers and 4 Magic Rooms is genius, especially against this card, right? It's really good against this card. It's also really good against blue-red. It's an ultra megatonic tech. Why? Let me tell you why right now. Because when you're playing against Ruby Sapphire, right? You want to be as fast as you can. So you play all these ones when you can, and then you do the Flynn Rider into Sisu, of course. But other than that, after that, you might want to play some more ones because you want to push as fast as you can before they get to turn 6 or turn 7, right? If they had a Sisu, then you have to watch out for turns for Ink 6. It's not turn 6 because blue red is ramping. At Ink 6, you wanna watch out for Sisu shifting if they play the Sisu, and at Ink 7 you want to watch out for Be Prepared. Now this type of tech, you can keep on questing and keep on playing them without thinking about it, because once you get close to that turn, you can just banish them yourself and then draw some cards. And now you played some cards that got you some Ultra Megatonic lore to push as fast as you can, because that's what you want against a control deck like that. And the resource goes back to your hand. And I think this is pretty genius. And I think I'm going to start doing this with my Ruby Amethyst deck. I really, really like this tech. And now moving on, we have the Flynn Rider into Sisu combo, of course. And it's also playing 3 Cuscos, 1 Llama for more draws. 3 Madam Mims. This is the thing that surprised me. That's really hard for a lot of Ruby Amethyst players to cut Madam Mim Snake into 3. But I think it makes sense, right? If you're running Cusco and you're also running Flynn Rider, a lot of the times you're not going to try to bounce what you played on turn 1. Especially if the opponent is playing slow. And I get why there's only 3 snakes on this. And then it's running 4 Fox, 2 Merlin Crabs, like a lot of Ruby Amethyst players did. They cut this down to 2. It's definitely still a must to run like at the very least 2 of these. And then we have 4 Sisus, of course, 4 Goats, 4 Rabbits, 4 Maui, and 2 Madam Medusas. And this version is also doing the 4 Brawls, 4 Friends on the other sides, 3 Be King Undisputed, and 3 Be Prepareds with 4 Queen's Castle. I really, really like this version, especially running 3 Be Prepareds. I think that's a safe play if you have 3 of this. It's perfect complement as well to the 4 Queen's Castle. I feel like having 2 of this and having 4 of this sometimes doesn't make too much sense, in my opinion. It's because once you have these set up, you want to be playing your Be Prepareds if they don't have any control of the board, because this just gets you so much lore, right? It just keeps you it just keeps getting you a lot of lore, and you don't have to spend extra resources to deal with their board. If you know that they're about to deal with your board anyways, you just quest with everything and then be prepared and watch the castles gain some lore for you. There's no other Ultra Megatonic tags with this. This is usually what you would see. I would say that the Magic Broom, the Cuscos, which is something that we already see, you can call that tech or not, but the draw text is what I'm gonna call it, is Ultra Megatonic on this deck. It's really, really nice, and I think that's one of the reasons why he made it to top 4, slicing and dicing a bunch of green steel players. Anyways, congratulations, Kurt. Amazing performance on the Disney Lorcana Challenge in Chicago. Let's move on to the next deck. All right, this next one is another Sisu on Ice by Tomasz Sobkowicz, or 100 Mil. We're gonna start with the actions. We have 4 Develop Your Brains, 4 Brawls. We have 2 Ice Blocks here, 4 Popsicles, 3 Fishbone Quill, 2 Great Stone Dragon, which is a tech that I've been seeing a lot of people run. We also have, I was about to say 7 Lucky Dimes, 2 Lucky Dimes, 4 One Jump Ahead, 3 How Far I'll Go, 3 Be Prepareds, and it has 2 Sisu Embolden the Warrior, 4 Grammatalas, 4 Flavershims, 4 Flavershims, 4 Maui, 4 Medusas, 3 Sisus, 4 Tamatoas, and 4 Maleficent Monsters Dragons. I gotta say, and I know I always say this, but this is basically what you will see in most Sisu on Ice deck. A lot of people has finally cut all the Sisu, the uninkable Sisu, because there's a lot of uninkables usually in this deck. This deck alone has 7, 10, plus 7, 17, plus 4. This one has 21 uninkables, and you really can't afford to run those baby Sisus anymore. This is a much better Sisu. First of all, this Sisu is super strong, and it can quest, and you can play it as well to counter the Flynn Riders if you didn't have the Brawls, and it's just a really, really good body to shift your big Sisu in. Other than that, everything else is like what I said. It's what you usually would see on these decks. I gotta point out that this doesn't have any Lady Tremaine. Some people are still running some of the Lady Tremaines. It's really a matter of preference whether you want to run 4 Medusas, or usually the spot is there's 4. Either you do 2/2, 3/1, or 4 of something and nothing of the other. And again, the only thing I can really point out here is the Great Stone Dragon. With this deck, everything else is everything that we see from Sisu and Ice. Like I said, I repeated myself like 10 times already. So there's not much to talk about this, and we're gonna move forward to the next one. But I want to say congratulations to Mas Subkowicz or 100 mil for the Ultra Megatonic performance. Top 3 with that many people is very hard to get, and this is super impressive to get it to this point. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is by Jordan Moore, Amethyst Emerald or Emerald Amethyst bounce. Now this is super impressive. A lot of the people, including people I know who are great players, who plays these colors, have given up on it. It's really tough to play with the current Sisu and Ice meta, but I knew at some point the Emerald Amethyst players are definitely gonna discover how to play around the current meta, and this is a great example of it because this is second place in an Ultra Mega Tonic tournament, right? Jordan, let's check out your list. So this one is running 2 Chernobog's followers, 4 Curse Merfolk, 4 Pegasus, 4 Flynn Riders, Madam Mims, Ursula, Diablo, and it has 2 Drac, something that we usually don't see. This is a new card. I think it's really good in my opinion because it forces your opponent to attack the Flynn Rider or the Curse Merfolk. And this card, what it does is it gives, when you play this card, chosen opposing characters gains Reckless during their next turn. If you didn't know what it does. And putting Reckless on someone, for those of you guys who are not familiar, is forcing them to basically attack that turn. They can still sing with the character, but a lot of the times when you play this on 3, when you play the Curse Merfolk into Flynn Rider, you can play this on 3, and now they have to attack your creatures, and they have to discard. Now, if it's just a Flynn Rider that's exerting, a lot of the times, if your opponent played a character with just 1/1, like for example, your opponent played a Pegasus, right? Now they have to attack Flynn Rider. And it dies, and they have to discard. It's just super annoying to deal with, right? And I really think that this card right here is Ultra Megatonic. And then we have 2 Kit Cloud Kickers as well, 4 Madam Mims, 2 Merlin Crab, 4 Merlin Goat, 4 Rabbits, 2 Tinkerbells. I like this deck a lot, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. 2 Pegasus, 3 Ursula, Sea Witch Queen, 4 Friends on the other side, 2 Mother Knows Best, and it's also running 3 Queen's Castle. We can notice from this list that it fully has cut the legendary Ursulas. Usually, or back in the days, there's 4 Ursula, Deceiver of All on this deck, and we don't see it anymore, which is 100% understandable in my opinion, especially with this current meta. There's just so many ways to deal with that Ursula, and it doesn't do anything on turn 3, honestly. And like what I said, we're going to talk about the Tinkerbell. I think this deck has gained so much more value on this meta, on this set. And one of the reasons why it can give evasive to anyone you want, and it's evasive itself. It shuts down Diablo 100%, right? And it shuts down a lot of other inkables, or not inkables, evasives. With a deck like this where bounce is a thing, Tinkerbell can shine. Because a lot of these bounce characters, like Madam M Snake and the Fox, they're big. They have so much damage. Even the goat. And it can one shot or gain value in so many trades with so many of these evasives that's running around. I really think that these colors is still super good on the meta. Now it's gonna be annoying when you're facing Sisu, but I still think that this color is super good. I think it was just annoying in the beginning because people were running the baby Sisu, but now people has cut those, right? So they don't gain value on turn 3 anymore, killing your merfolk. I think one of the reasons why this made it to top 2, it's an ultra megatonic meta call in my opinion. Because number 1, it's really good against red blue. A lot of people might disagree on me, but I am an aggro player, and I have been playing Amber Amethyst on this set, and I went 8-2, 8-2, 7-3 on my run, and I said it's the counter to the meta. Because it has so many good matchups. The only bad matchups it has is Steel Song, which is not there anymore, except for Zach Bivens, because Zach Bivens is a lunatic who's just super good in the game. He doesn't care if Ember Steel Song is bad against Blue Red. He does it anyways and find ways to win against it, right? But like what I said, aggro in general is super good against the current Blue Steel, because Blue Steel is much slower now, especially against Blue Red. The way to win those matchups is just push. And the thing about this deck, it has so much speed. Like the Curse Merfolk into Flynn Rider is still super good. And the fact that they always gain value, and now you're running Jack to force people to attack into that so they can actually Ultra Megatonic gain value. It's nuts. And again, this deck is still bounce, which means it still has a lot of draw potentials, which is something that you need against Bucky Discard. When I play Ruby Amethyst, that's what I do. I play my bounce, I play my rabbits, I play my friends on the other side, and keep drawing to beat them until they can't match my draws anymore. And again, this deck has a tool to deal with Diablo, and they can't really gain value from you drawing unless obviously you don't draw that, and we can just like go on with that. What if they don't draw as well, right? But either way, I think this is a great meta call. I think the deck is still very much alive and still super strong. Other than that, congratulations, Jordan, on the top 2 play. What an ultra megatonic performance, and something that a lot of people didn't see at all. Let's move on to the next one. This next one is by an ultra megatonic legend in the community. The Rat has been known as one of the best players in Disney Lorcana at the moment, and he proves it here again. Brian, is it Cortade or Cortad? Cortadois. We're just gonna call him the Rat. The Rat. He proves it again that his skills is unmatched, right? And this is a Steel Emerald Bucky discard. Let's go check out this version. This one is running 4 Diablos, 2 Flynn Riders, and Robin Hood. I think this is what caught people off guard. These Flynn Riders right here is something that a lot of people didn't expect. A lot of people thought that everyone has cut this. But I think it's an ultra megatonic tech, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Now we got the Buckies, of course. We have the Ursulas, Aladdins, Diablo, 4 Ursula Deceiver of all, 3 Flynn Riders, his own biggest fan, 3 Jafars, 4 Bees, and 4 Robin Hoods. It's also running 2 Hidden Cove, 1 Baboom, 3 Sudden Chill, 4 Let the Storm Rage On, 4 Strength of the Raging Fire, 1 And Then Along Came Zeus, and 2 We Don't Talk About Bruno. Now, everything here is something we've seen on every single Bucky discard deck except the Flynn Riders, and that is what caught people off guard this weekend, right? It makes a lot of sense to run this because This card now is more successful than it ever has been. Why? Because you will hear a lot of people say it always goes down to the top deck game. And when people constantly say that, that's a proof that this card is successful with discarding your opponent's hand. Not just a deck, not just as a deck, but discarding your opponent's hand. That is a hint that cards like this could now pop off. It's just super, super, super fast. It lowers the chances of your opponent getting an Ultra Megatonic top deck to come back in the game. Now, when discard decks happen and you get them to top decking mode, sometimes they still have a chance of getting back. But this minimizes that chance of getting back from your opponent because this just goes vroom vroom. Once you have this out, especially it's also running a shiftable target. Once you have this out, you basically just win in 2, 3, maybe 4 turns at the most. And I think the Rat saw that, and it's an Ultra Megatonic call. And also, it's hard to like add this to your deck. Why? Because a lot of people will give you crap about it. Because they're just going to say it's a terrible card. Right? I hear a lot of people say that. But I think on this meta, it's an Ultra Megatonic card, and it's an Ultra Megatonic edition. At one point, I even said that I cut my Flynn Riders because it was just bricking, it was this and that. But the thing is, we cut a bunch of uninkables from this deck. We no longer have the Prince John. And this is why there's room again for uninkable cards like Flynn Rider. I just want to say congratulations to the Rat for the Ultra Mega Tonic win on this giant tournament, Disney Lorcana Challenge Chicago. What an epic win. Congratulations on your win, your winnings. That's gotta be so awesome to have all those stuff, and also your invite to the Continentals. All right, that's about it. We're checking the top 8 decks from Disney Lorcana Challenge Chicago. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to smash that like, subscribe, and bell button. Don't forget to comment down below as well what you think about this top 8 decks from Disney Lorcana Challenge Chicago. What do you think is going to pop up on the next one? I think the next one, well, in NA it's Vegas, and it's Bochum coming up next, and I'm going to be there in Germany. What do you guys think will be the next deck to win the next Disney Lorcana Challenge? And also, what do you think will be the top 8 decks that we're going to see on Bochum or Las Vegas? Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one. Peace!